Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved official scenarios. Moving on into Ice Age today, and I'm at my wit's end with this scenario. I have been trying several different strategies and it's always been proving a little bit tougher. So let's see if we can do any better today. Solar variation reduces the amount of radiation emitted by the sun, triggering a minor ice age and lowering the global surface temperature by more than 5 degrees Celsius, as well as triggering other climate change events. Is hell freezing over? It sure as heck will be if I can beat this scenario. So basically this is the polar opposite of global warming, very similar, two sides of the same coin. Global warming changes the climate, makes everything hot. Ice Age changes the climate, makes everything cold. That's about it. We're going to try the bacteria. I've tried making things work on the fungus, that's the only one I've had some success. Haven't tried several of the others. I don't really see much point in trying some things like bioweapon or shadow plague or anything like that on an official scenario. So we'll do bacteria. Bacteria does have a lot of extra bacterial resilience to the environment, so it can be helpful. Gonna go for the ATP boost, Darwinist on the off chance we get a really clutch mutation. Aquasite, Extremophile, and Symptostasis. We're gonna go for a symptom-heavy build today. Let's see how well it works out for us. Now, like I said, very similar to the global warming scenario. A lot of countries that are more moderate in temperature are now going to be cold, and a lot of countries that are usually hot are now going to be pretty moderate. So the USA, China, now cold. Indonesia, India, which is where we're going to start, are now not hot. So there's that. Now, that's not to say that every country in the world is no longer hot. Some of them are. Australia, parts of Africa, they're still hot, but it's a lot less than it used to be. I also think that more countries are humid than usual. Like the USA is not usually humid, so that's a thing. Alright, we're going to go for the coughing and the nausea first, I think, and also the cysts. Let's go ahead and start off. Do I want to grab hypersensitivity? Not right now. Yeah, like I said, I'm mostly just going to go for a very symptom-heavy build right now, and let's see how we can do. But we do need to evolve several types of resistances and stuff as well. Let's go ahead and grab the vomiting. Let's grab the rash. Things like pneumonia and sweating will be very useful to me once I do start getting into some of these cold countries. Thus far, that has not happened. Let's grab insomnia and hypersensitivity and paranoia. Anything to try and slow down the detection rate if we can. I'm going to go ahead and grab pneumonia and sweating next. Very, very strong. Sneezing would probably be pretty good as well. Feel okay with that. Very high infectivity, high severity build. Before we get into a lot of those other nations and pop a bunch of red bubbles, maybe we get some extra DNA out of the process. I mean, really, who freaking knows? Or maybe the mutation really screws me over. I'm not too sure yet. We're going to go ahead and grab the skin legions next, and then I think we'll focus on some abilities. The cold resistance and drug resistance come to mind. We'll grab cold resistance first. They have detected us a little bit early on. Okay. Shutting down their airports. Let's go for the drug resistance, more cold resistance, bacterial resilience. Anything to help things along. We're going to grab one level of heat resistance at least, because there are some hot countries still. Pulmonary fibrosis means a little bit of early lethality. Probably earlier than I think I was expecting, but okay. Grab that level of heat resistance. Do we need some transmissions? Sure, water transmission will be very good for us if more countries are humid than usual. And now it seems like our spread is kind of slowed down, shockingly, very suddenly. Would love to go for the extreme bioaerosol. That would certainly help us get into places like Greenland and Iceland, which are perhaps the most difficult for us at this point in the game. Placed on the watch list. Okay, so we're going to work on that cure pretty rapidly, I think. We have our extreme bioaerosol now. Starting to work on that cure. Oh my gosh, hello. Okay, lots of bubbles for us. Do we want to go for the necrosis yet, or do we want to go for more bacterial resilience and then some drug resistance to make sure we spread fast enough in those wealthy nations? I think we go for the drug resistance. Okay. Getting a shocking amount of DNA out of all this right now. Okay, so, could go for some more lethality, could really go for that necrosis, but I think I need to kind of sit back for a little bit and kind of wait. I know they're working on that cure. Maybe I grab a level of genetic hardening early to try and slow down that cure, but I really need to get into Greenland and the Caribbean before I go too crazy. A little worried about some places like Sweden, too. You never know. More bacterial resilience. Let's go crazy here. I also see that Sweden shut down their port. Let's make sure we get some birds. Maybe we get lucky and can get into Sweden. Paralysis mutated. That's a pretty good one. That's going to slow down the cure. Do we want something like... These are all considered to be urban. Let's grab rats. We're gonna try really hard to spread here. Please, for the love of God, got into Greenland. Okay. Sweden is the only country missing? Oh, please, no. Alright, well, I think we have to go for the necrosis now. We can't really afford to wait. I'm gonna go for the coma next, I think. Kind of slow things down. Please, please, please get into Sweden. Don't you dare shut down your borders. I'm having a bad day, man. Don't you do it. There's Sweden. Okay, we have the necrosis. Total organ failure. We need to start killing faster than anything else at this point. So hopefully we can start raking in a lot of DNA. Insanity would certainly be nice. Seizures will help a little bit. Try grabbing that, but I think we need to go for a genetic reshuffle first, unless we can afford coma right now, so that's going to set them back a fair bit. Let's go for seizures next. That should also set them back a fair bit. Systematic infection, okay. Necrosis, please do not screw up now. I want that genetic reshuffle, so I'm going to save up DNA. I do not want to risk losing at this point. I'm going to try for go for 3 stars. Let's save as much DNA as possible. Let's reset that cure. Can I get to 31 DNA? I sure as heck can. Slow that back. Oops, symptom combo down to 66% cure progress. Holy crap, is this actually going to freaking work? It's actually going to freaking work. Oh, I finally beat the scenario. My god, it's just unpleasant. It's not like the mechanics are that different. It's a very minor change, but it turns out making the world colder is a lot harder to deal with than making the world hotter. 2 stars. Alright, you know what? I'll take it. It's not quite as fast as I was hoping for, but the cure progress is reasonable, and honestly, we were not that far off of getting 3 stars. I was just sloughing the crap out of that. This was literally my last-ditch attempt before I go to bed, because it's almost 1 a.m. now. I've been trying for the last, hour and a half to make this work, so... yeah, it's a very simple scenario. It should not cause this much trouble. You really would think that it wouldn't. But it turns out making the world cold is really difficult to deal with, whereas making the world hot, not so bad. Really not so bad. I've tried it on the fungus, I've tried it on the parasite, and now I've tried it on the bacteria, and it worked. Obviously, if you want to cheese it and go for the Nerex worm, be my guest. That might still work for you. I just try to use it as little as possible because I don't want to get the criticism of using the easiest possible, most OP method ever. So, anyway. Alright, done. That was my build there, shockingly, and it was really a symptom-heavy build. And, we focused on getting a ton of bacterial resilience, and then we got kind of lucky with Sweden. I was a little bit worried about that. So, thank you all very much for watching. In the future, we are going to be doing a bit more official scenarios. I'm going to cut back on the custom scenarios for the next couple weeks. We're going to try to rush through the official scenarios list. I want to finish the series out. And then after this series is done, then maybe we'll go back to the custom scenarios. It will depend a lot on how you guys feel, so let me know in the comment section how that will work out for you. Subscribe if you have not already, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.